St George's Day,
Now we don't want to
23rd of
harm
March.
the dragon. We need him for the play a bit later on. So when I say ready, steady, charge, the first three dragons...
It's going to be a dragon race now.
Sorry, the first three St George's to slay the dragon win a magic sword.
The children in the...
All the children come back to the middle. All the St George's. Stand in the middle of the long line. Stand over here. Stand over here. We're looking... Alright, stand back a bit. Stand back a bit. We're not looking just for speed. We're looking for brutality.
There stood a magic oak tree, and that is where
Aidan, when he saw George, Edmund and the princess coming over the downs, he was surprised. He was used to an entourage of wailing women. This will be easier than before, he thought to himself. I might even have that small one for afters. Now where are they going?
in order to draw the dragon away from his cave, Edmund and the princess went to sit below the oak tree, while George readied himself for the fight. Just as the dragon came closer to the oak tree, George leapt out into his path. "Prepare to breathe your last," he shouted, as he lunged at the dragon with his lance. The dragon was stopped momentarily, but the lance fell away from the dragon, its scales far too tough.
George dashed under the oak tree, which lowered its magical branches so the dragon could not reach them. This really annoyed the dragon, and he started to stoke up his fiery breath. When George was ready to fight again, he came out from under the tree. The dragon saw him and snorted out a huge jet of fire. Quickly, Edmund and the princess pulled George back from the inferno, while the dragon raged furiously outside. "There's only one thing for it. The sword," said Edmund. "But it will break on the scales like my lance did," said St George. "I have an idea," said Princess Elizabeth. "The dragon's scales are much like your armour. Is there anywhere that your armour can be breached?" George suddenly knew what to do. "You are not only beautiful," he said to Elizabeth, "but also very clever." And with that, he sprang out from under the oak tree again.
The dragon was so furious by now that he was flapping his wings like an angry eagle. But this was exactly what George was hoping for. With all his might, he plunged the sword under the dragon's wing, and where the flesh was soft and there were no scales to protect it. The sword pierced the heart, and with a terrible roar, the dragon fell dead at George's feet.
St George had